What up, y'all? Hey, this your man Kenneth Haynes, and back at y'all with another video of all things trucking. Um, I just wanted to chop it up with y'all, man, on how me getting my CDL changed my life, right? So I remember me and my wife had just bought our house, and things was getting a little rough for us, and I remember just thinking, like I need to find something that I would enjoy doing, um, and I worked the job. Uh, I worked for a paint company. Did that for 8 years, 9 years. Um, I did that for 9 years, and basically what I did was I did deliveries for them, and I was a warehouse manager. So I would manage anything that came to the warehouse, run deliveries, things like that. And Basically, when I went and got my CDL, man, it was one of them things that was different for me, right? It was different because I was in CDL school. Things was kind of rough, trying to keep up with our bills and things like that. Wife was working, but we wasn't bringing in enough. It still wasn't enough. So I quit my job and got my CDL, went to truck driving school, right? And so I'm in truck driving school, and I told y'all in my last video, I failed the general knowledge like 4 or 5 times, right? So I failed the general knowledge like 4 times, and I remember I felt like I couldn't pass that test. I don't know why. It just didn't seem too general to me. But I ended up going to school. The instructor told me, he said, "Hey man, we're gonna have to go ahead on and let you go ahead on back to the house, because we can't, you ain't passed the general knowledge." I'm like, man, I didn't know I could get kicked out of truck driving school, right? So I left, and I asked him. I said, "Hey man, listen, if I could pass this general knowledge test, could I come back next week?" He said, "Yeah." There's a time frame that you have to get your license when you're in school. The first week is for you to do all the book work, get all the book work out the way. That's why they prefer for you to get your book work done before you come. But that's not always the case. So I didn't get my book work done that first week. So the second week I was like, "Hey, if I go home and I get the general knowledge on my own, can I come back?" And he said, "Tell you what, man." He said, "Yeah, I'll let you do that." He said, "You come on back that second week." I said, "Cool." So I went home, studied the general knowledge. I went to the site that I told y'all to go to in my video on how to get your CDL, right? What was the link? Man, I'm drawing a blank. I draw a blank every time on that link. I don't know why. But basically, I went to Truckers Report. Went to Truckers Report, studied for my general knowledge. Once I went on ahead and got my general knowledge, I went back to the school. I said, "Hey, I got my general knowledge." Went back, did my road tests, all that, and I went on to work for that company that I was in school with, right? Because I signed a contract that I worked with them for a year, and I went on ahead and got with a trainer. Ended up getting my road experience, where I had to be on the road with my trainer for so long. Once I was on the road with my trainer for so long, I went on ahead by myself. But then once I was on the road by myself, I was like, "Yo, I'm not making no money. Like, I'm still making, I'm making like $500-600, not like about $400-500. And I remember saying, I was like, man, I can make this at home. Like, I could make this in a warehouse, or I can make this at McDonald's. I remember saying that. And so I went on ahead, and I'm on the road by myself, and I just wasn't comfortable. And I'm like, man, what this is what all the hype about getting the CDL? Like, this is what it's about. Like, I can make this at, in a warehouse or something like that. Like, and so I ended up leaving the company that I was with, that I got my CDL through, and I was like, I just pay back whatever I gotta pay back, because I can't do this year and make this type of money. It just wasn't worth it, not being away from my family like that, and still bringing home something that I could bring home, the type of money I could bring home, being home every night. It just wasn't worth it. So I ended up leaving that company, and I went from making $500 a week to making about $1,200 or $1,300 a week. And I just want to share with y'all, man, if you get your CDL and you're not, I say if you're not, bringing home at least $1,000 a week, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, straight up. The CDLs are very, very valuable. It's like a gold card, you know what I'm saying? You could go anywhere. You can quit a job Monday and have a job that next week, you know what I'm saying? Quit that Friday, have a job by Tuesday. Like, that's how quick you can get a job with a CDL. So that's just, one of the things to keep in mind. So I remember I got my CDL, and when I first got my CDL, I left the company that I got my CDL through. I ended up going to work for another company, and I was making more money, right? So then I remember I left that company because they let me go. They wanted me to do something that wasn't legal, right? So when you get your CDL, you work for a company. Every load has what's called a BOL, right? A bill of lading. And you have a paperwork with every shipment, everything that goes out, everything that's on that truck. You should have a piece of paper with a description of what's in that trailer, what's on that trailer, right? With the load that you're carrying. And sometimes I used to work for a company that had their own stores. I'm not gonna say the company name, but I used to work for a company that had their own stores, and they would want me to put stuff on that truck that didn't belong on that truck. It didn't specify what it was on that piece of paper. By law, you can't do that. That's illegal. You're supposed to have a bill of lading for everything that's on your truck that has a list of things that's on your truck. You're supposed to be able to identify what's on there. So they let me go, and I ended up going to another company. I ended up hauling gas. When I hauled gas, I hauled gas for about five or 6 years, and I ended up liking it, loving it. Got with that company. I got a seatbelt ticket, y'all. I got a seatbelt ticket. Once I ended up getting with that company, hauling gas, I loved it. I thought that was one of the best things that was out there for me to do, making real good money, right? So now at this point, I go from making $500 a week to making $1,200, $1,300 a week to making, I'll say about $1,500 a week, right? So pay steady going up. Now I'm starting to see, okay, cool, man, I can deal with this. It's more like it. I can deal with this. Ended up getting let go because I paid the ticket, the seatbelt ticket, and they didn't want me to pay it. They wanted to fight the ticket. They went on ahead and fired me for insubordination. At this point, I said, you know what? It's time for me to become my own operator. And boy, oh boy, did things change. Yeah, things change. I remember coming home and I told my wife, I said, babe, they let me go. And at this time, it was time for me to go ahead on and get my own truck. And I got my own truck. I ended up getting on the road, leasing onto a company. And then at that point, I realized I didn't like how they were still able to determine what I make and what I don't make. I didn't like that. I didn't like that I was able to have my own truck. I had my own everything. Like, I still was responsible for the fuel. I was responsible for the maintenance. I was responsible for, everything, because I am my own operator, which means I own my truck and I'm operating my truck. So all of the any liability. It's all on me. Like everything was, all the responsibilities of having that truck was on me. I wasn't able to rely on the company fixing it, tires, things like that. And those things are expensive. And I realized I wasn't getting no work because they would say, hey, we don't have work today, or we don't have many loads today. So from that point, I went on ahead and got my authority, and that's when things started to get a little bit more interesting, because I hadn't already had all the responsibilities. So I was like, yo, let me just go ahead on and get my authority. Let me go ahead on and make the next move. What's the next move? Because I always tried to better myself, right? Whether it was adding endorsements to my license, or adding credentials that can help me in the world of trucking. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think it's just once you get your CDL, that's it. That's all it is. Okay, got my CDL. I got all the endorsements that there is to have on the CDL. Which more is it for me to do? It's a lot more for you to do. When it comes down to trucking, I mean, you could do a lot of things. So I ended up, doing that, getting my my own authority. And once I ended up getting my own authority, man, that's when the floodgates opened up, y'all. I was able to do whatever I wanted. Like I had my own authority. Like there was nobody to tell me what I could or can't do. Now I did have to, you still gotta, comply with DOT regulations. You still gotta do your random drug test. You still gotta do all those things. But you are in charge of those things. Like you regulate what happens, what goes on and what don't. And how your company work. You come up with your own policy and procedures. And I mean, it's a lot more freedom, right? It's a lot more freedom when you start it's a game changer. That's next level. And it's levels to this trucking, y'all. There's levels to it. Got my authority, started running loads. Now you're talking about big break, right? We went from what I said, 500 to 12, 13, right? To 15, 16, right? Yeah, we got our authority, y'all, and we like 5, 10,000, 13,000 in a week. Oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, y'all. That's some good money. Yeah, man, I was able to pull that type of braid in, but like I said, I had to crawl before I walked. You know what I'm saying? It all started with me just getting my CDL. You got to start to start. You know what I'm saying? You got to start to start. You got to start somewhere. And you're gonna have challenges along the way. You just gotta take the punches and roll. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Don't let nobody get in your ear. And tell you, well, if you do this, but then how you gonna do it, man? Listen, don't listen to what nobody gotta say. If it's in your heart to do it, pursue your dream and do it. Like, go get it. Nobody's gonna dream, make that dream a reality but you. Listen, man, it's your boy Kenneth Haynes, y'all, with another episode of All Things Trucking, another video of All Things Trucking. Y'all holla at me, man. I'm gonna put the link in the bio, in my description for my Telegram, right? Once we reach 100 people in that Telegram, I'm gonna help 2 people for free, y'all. We're gonna build this thing all the way out from start to finish. All right, holla at your boy.